fits the bomb's genetic profile. Okay? Yeah, this is not one of those messages, man, to make you feel good today. All right, this is one of those messages to inform you today, educate you today. I want to equip you, brothers and sisters. I'm talking about a device, a bomb that goes off silently. You don't hear no explosion without anybody realizing that thing has even been released or where it was released. You won't know it until people start dying in mass numbers. So this government, brothers and sisters, not only leads the world in germ warfare, the United States of America leads the world in gene warfare. Gene warfare. Write that down. Gene warfare. Yes, understand, brothers and sisters. Gene or genetic warfare. We're dealing with genetic racism. Understand how deep this goes. Now, how long has this government been doing stuff like this? Okay, I'm getting ready to drop some data on y'all now. So get ready to write down these dates, write down these years. Okay? In 1889, brothers and sisters, I did not say 1989 or 1998. I said in 1889. Way back that far, that's right. The United States government began to use what's called mycoplasmas to cause epidemics. I call them plandemics because they're strategically and purposely activated in society. Write that down. MYCOPLASMAS, mycoplasma or mycoplasmas. Write that down, okay? The United States government started using mycoplasmas back in 1889. Understand how deep this goes. In 1902, the United States government formed, and write this down, the Station for Experimental Evolution. See, you didn't learn this stuff in church, and you sure ain't gonna learn it in school. They're not gonna tell you in school about this because they need you to believe in your government. Okay, in 1902, the United States government formed the and write that down, Station for Experimental Evolution. Again, that's Station for Experimental Evolution. This was formed in 1902 by the United States government to create diseases that were ethnic in nature. Not that it was caused by nature, but these diseases are strategically designed to go after certain ethnic groups. In 1902, the United States government created the Station for Experimental Evolution just for that purpose. In 1918, the influenza virus that killed millions of innocent victims around the world was created by the United States government. It was a flu virus that was modified with a bird mycoplasma. I just told you about mycoplasmas, right? Well, this bird mycoplasma, okay, spliced experiments, scientists in a laboratory. Yes, took bird virus and bacteria, inserted this mycoplasma into this vaccine for which humans had acquired no immunity. Understand, brothers and sisters, there's a war going on. Let me tell you some more. Y'all, get ready, y'all. I'm getting ready to share some stuff with y'all. In 1921, now many of you know about Black Wall Street, the bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921, but you don't know about the genetic stuff that was going on in 1921 targeted at us, Black people, Africans. In 1921, there was a eugenicist named Bertrand Russell. Write his name down. Betrand. Bertrand Russell. Okay? And this eugenicist said, and I quote him, "There is a necessity for organized plagues against the Black population." Why us, brothers and sisters? We're the only race of people on this planet that programs for genocide and biochemical genetic annihilation tactics have been designed for us. It was determined, brothers and sisters, that mycoplasmas will forever be at the heart of the United States biological warfare program. When they realized how effective the use of mycoplasmas were, they said, we're going to use mycoplasmas in every plague, every planned pandemic, they call it, every epidemic, okay? Mycoplasmas are used. Yeah, just like a lot of people are dealing with pneumonia, not understanding that it's a mycoplasma pneumonia, which is a bacterial pneumonia that many people are dying from even now as I speak to you, because they insert the mycoplasmas in all of their virus programs. In 1932, from 1932 to 1972, for 40 years, the United States Public Health Service, listen, y'all, I said the United States Public Health Service conducted the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, and it lasted for 40 years, where this government strategically, intentionally, and on purpose injected syphilis into the Black population. Oh my goodness. In 1945, hundreds of foreign scientists were brought into the United States biological warfare program to design biowarfare devices for genocide. Let me slow down, man. I'm getting so emotional about this. I'm getting tongue-tied. Did y'all get what I just said? In 1945, hundreds of foreign scientists were brought into the United States to work in the United States biowarfare program to design devices for the genocide of non-white people. Don't take my word for it, brothers and sisters. It was called Operation Paperclip. Write that down, please. Operation Paperclip. Do the research on it and you'll see what I just told you. Then in 1949, I'm just going through the timeline here to show you how wicked this government is and has been. Okay? They are and they have been wicked down through the years. In 1949, another eugenicist named Bjorn Sigurdsson, who was also called the grandfather of AIDS. In 1949, he came up with what is called the Visna virus. Now understand, brothers and sisters, a Visna virus is a bioengineered virus that has the same DNA patterns as HIV. And somebody said, what is a eugenicist? Well, a eugenicist is a person who advocates, supports, and practices eugenics. Eugenics comes from the word Eugene. The root word of eugenics is Eugene. You may know somebody named Eugene. The word Eugene means good genes. Okay? So people literally see Black folk as dysgenic. Grab what I'm saying here. The powers that be do not see African people as eugenic, or that we have good genes, even though they know that our genes are superior. They see us as dysgenic individuals, that our genes are not good. And so eugenicists have decided, such as the founder of the American eugenicist movement, Margaret Sanger, who also is the founder of Planned Parenthood, put the dots together. Margaret Sanger, who the founder of Planned Parenthood, was an American eugenicist. Okay, and she and Clarence Gamble, the owner of Procter and Gamble, understand this, brothers and sisters. It's all around us, man. And you think everything is all right. Margaret Sanger and Clarence Gamble, eugenicists. They were the founders of the eugenicist movement in America. Now, actually, eugenicists all over the world. And it's really tragic. And I don't mean to say that all medical professionals are eugenicists. Please be sure you don't mistake me to say that. But it becomes real, real wrong when your doctors are eugenicists, meaning that even though they've taken the the Hippocratic Oath, okay, they have pledged to carry out the program of the eugenicist movement, and that is the extirpation of people of color. Yes, brothers and sisters, this is the society in which we live. Let me give you some more dates to bring it up to today. In 1957, the United States Pentagon was given permission to aggressively, and I'm quoting from the minutes now, to aggressively deploy offensive biological agents on certain ethnic groups. This was decided in 1957 to give the Pentagon permission to deploy offensive biological agents on certain groups. On February 12th, 1962, under the disguise of cancer research. I'm sure you might have heard of that before. Under the disguise of cancer research, the United States government created plans to commit premeditated murder on millions of people by way of the United States Special Virus Program through a contract with a company known as Pfizer. Uh-oh. I bet that rung a bell, didn't it? That's right. February 12th, 1962, under the disguise of cancer research. It wasn't cancer research, but they had to name it that, okay, to make it acceptable to you. Under the disguise of cancer research, the United States government created plans to literally commit premeditated murder. Now, Brother Ray, why you say premeditated murder? Because that was the plan. The whole reason why they used the United States Special Virus Program, okay, under a contract with Pfizer, was to destroy a certain genetic type of people. Then in 1967, the Central Intelligence Agency launched a full-scale assault on Africa using their Technical Services Division's secret inoculator program. Oh, yeah, you didn't know that, did you? The Central Intelligence Agency, yes, had, and they probably still have, what is called the inoculator program, okay, in which they inject viruses in the world's population all over the world. On Tuesday, July 1st, 1969, bringing the dates up to the current date, right? But I want to give you this timeline so you can see how long these wicked people have been committing murder and working against nature because they are not natural themselves. They are not a people of nature. On Tuesday, July 1st, 1969, the United States Congress awarded $10 million to the Pentagon, to the Department of Defense, to create a synthetic biological agent to attack the autoimmune system, thus rendering a vaccine for a cure impossible. Impossible. That, and what I just said to you comes from their very minutes. To create a synthetic biological agent to attack the autoimmune system, thus rendering a vaccine for a cure impossible. That was done. That money was awarded on Tuesday, January 1st, 1969. 2 weeks later, on July 18th, President Richard Nixon sent a memo to Congress telling them they need to solve the problem of overpopulation. You hear what I'm saying? Why didn't you hear about this? In fact, why wasn't this in the news media? Why didn't cable network news or news network, whatever it is, CNN, why didn't they, ABC News, NBC News, or Reuters, why didn't they tell you about this stuff? See, brothers and sisters, well, this plan to create this synthetic biological agent to attack the autoimmune system was carried out at USAMRIID. USAMRIID. That's an acronym which stands for United States Army Medical Research Institute for Infectious Diseases at Fort Detrick, Maryland. That's where this was carried out under the cryptonym. And cryptonym is a code name. That's what it is, all right? But under the cryptonym Project MK Naomi. Okay, let me tell you what those letters stand for. The M, Mike, K, Kilo, MK stands for the last names of the two doctors that spearheaded the program, Robert Maneker and Paul Coton. These two doctors spearheaded Project MK Naomi. Now, Naomi is the acronym which stands for Negroes are only momentary individuals. But y'all didn't know that because y'all too busy praising and jumping up and down and looking for something that's not even going to happen, putting your hope in something that's never going to happen. You better learn, brothers and sisters. You better listen to those who the ancestors send to liberate us from the devices of our enemy. That's why I put in the oath to the ancestors.